Hey guys, what's going on? It's your Chief Visionary, Natasha Davis, and it is a beautiful day to talk about the real biz life. Let's talk about the real things that happen in business and happens within ourselves. So what's up? What's up? We are live in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. My Instagram family gets to catch me on YouTube. I just dropped you a message on IG, so I know you'll see it and you'll come and hang out with us. So how have you been? Did you take the time to implement half, some, or all of what you learned last week in the lab here? What did you do with that information? Did you tell somebody that we are live? This is a party. We're going to learn some things. Now, listen, I don't know what's going on with my microphone and technology and my music, but I'm going to get my life right with that. And we're going to have music again soon because, I like to loosen up. I like to have a little fun right before we go into the business lab. But don't worry about it. I'm still going to drop those golden nuggets for you. I'm going to still make sure you get all the information that you need. And I am just really, really excited. So last week, after I did this particular Real Biz Life live, we came out the lab and then I got a message, and the message was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for talking about, the customer, being focused on the customer and being obsessed with the customer, and the reason why we shouldn't be over obsessed with our competitor. It was like, my goodness, that was a game changer. They took the information and they went back to their team and did some retraining on some things. And they welcomed your chief visionary to come in and to support them in this new transformation and the unpacking of really getting your customers to be the center of your attention. So definitely excited about that. And that's what this is all about, right? This show is all about making sure that we are unpacking and dissecting those really high level important things that's going on in business. And today, the geeky side of your chief visionary is going to come out. The nurse in your chief visionary is going to come out. We're going to pull out the science mind of your chief visionary because this is a particular topic that we're going to unpack today that is really, really important. It's super, super important. It's also overlooked. And a lot of times when we are in business and we are doing the things that we're doing, we forget to think of ourselves. We don't pay attention to what's happening in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies as well. And so I definitely want us to spend some time unpacking some really important things today. And this is actually going to transcend business. It's going to also tap into your personal life because these things are super important. So thank you for joining me live today. Hit me up in the chat room. Of course, if I see you, I'll shout you out as well, right? But I want to thank you. And again, we're live in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right here. We are inside my business lab and we are dissecting the real biz life. So check this out. Today, I want us to spend a little bit of time talking about the mind and learning how to train our brain to win, right? This is so ultra important for us in business as we're moving along day to day in business, but also it's really important, and not because I'm a woman, but it is important for us as women because women tend to have a lot more battles with them, with their inner voice than the males do. I'm not saying men don't. Men do, but I'm just saying women tend to have a much more struggle with this. And I was like, you know what? Let's get to it. Let's get into it. And we're going to talk about the mind and how the mind really is the battlefield. We have to train our brains to win at all things, win at all costs, win in business, win personally. You have to train, win professionally. We have to train our brains to win because the real deal of it is as we are moving from day to day, right? Living our life, when we say life is lifing, right? Our brains are constantly being bombarded with chaos and drama and challenges and obstacles, right? And we have to start working on retraining our brain to function to basically default to the positive. So today, the geeky side of your chief visionary is going to come out. The nurse is coming out, right? I want to talk to you about the mind and how the mind is the battlefield. I want to talk to you about the power of affirmation. There is so much power in daily affirmations. Unless or until you do it consistently, you will not realize how powerful it really, really is. And so when we think about an affirmation, some people think, oh, I don't want to do all that woo-woo stuff. It's not woo-woo stuff. I promise you it's not. It's actually very, very, very effective, and it affects the way that you move. And I'm going to prove that to you today. All right. So don't forget, please don't be stingy. All right. Don't be stingy. Go tell somebody to come join the party. All right. Tell them to come into the lab with us. Text them. Share it, tag them on social media, tell them, come on into the lab here. We're going to talk about some really, really important things. All right, so let me talk to you right quick. So when we think about daily affirmations, an affirmation, first of all, basically is phrases that you recite back to yourself, and it's designed to strengthen and reinforce the positive energy and the positive thinking. All right. So an affirmation has to be, and I want you to hold on to this because you're going to see what I mean, the power of it. You can affirm yourself negatively and you can affirm yourself positively. So positive affirmations are these phrases that you are reciting to yourself, and you have to say it out loud. You're not reciting them quietly, right? My pastor, whom I love, Dr. Creflo Dollar, he tells us, he's like, listen, when you're trying to break the cycle in your mind, that stuff that's playing in your head, that negative stuff that's playing in your head, you can't combat the silence with silence. You got to say it out loud. So if you start saying, say to yourself, well, count 1, 2, 3 quietly to yourself, and then you start speaking out loud, the noise in your head ceases immediately. It stops. So when you have negative activity going on in your mind, you really have to learn how to counteract that and combat that with audible language, right? I'm going to talk to you about language patterns today too. All right, so here we are. We're talking about positive affirmations. These are phrases. These are very positive phrases you are reciting because you need to strengthen and reinforce the energy within yourself, that positive energy and that positive thinking, right? So as we know, life is happening, right? And we have the ebbs and flows of life. And so as we go through the ebbs and flows of life, we are inadvertently putting restrictions and limitations and low set points on ourselves, and on our ability to progress, on our ability to progress as well. And so when we're going through the natural, normal ebbs and flows of business and of life and just everything that's going on, if you do not positively reaffirm yourself, you are setting up limitations and you're setting up restrictions and you're putting yourself at low set points. And you are creating these low set points and limitations for yourself. No one else is doing it but you. So when we have a negative thought that is effectively controlling our minds, we are essentially welcoming chaos. We're welcoming chaos, and we're not welcoming the calmness and the clarity. We're actually pushing calmness and clarity out. And from there, we're not welcoming clarity. We're welcoming chaos and conflict and challenge and oppression and depression. Come on, right? There's so many people that are struggling right now with mental oppressive thoughts that they never even knew they had. And because it's been a lot of things going on in the world today, you have to reaffirm yourself. This is really, really, really important, right? So when I say to you that we have to control those negative thoughts in our mind, because when we control that, we stop welcoming chaos. Because effectively, when you welcome chaos into your world, you are pushing clarity and you're pushing calmness out. The mind is the battlefield. We have got to train our brains and retrain our brains to learn how to win. So when you see someone that tends to work more with the chaos, and they welcome the chaos and they're pulling it in and the oppression and stuff, that's why you see people that are so easy to give up or to ignore problems like this. Like, I don't want to deal with that at all. Like, there's a difference between I'll come back to this later because I have something more important right now, versus I'm not dealing with this at all. I'm acting like I'm blind. I don't act like I don't see it. That's not good, right? And so therefore you easily give things up, or you look at everything is looked at as the glass half empty. When a challenge shows up, it's like, oh my God, why bother? Why should we move anymore? No, get moving, right? What do I always say? When you find yourself in hell, don't pull up a chair. Like, run, Forrest, run. Right? Like, get moving. So You want to start training your mind to be able to function and be able to align with where you're going. You want to start telling yourself that I have to learn how to default to the positive and default to being optimistic, not being difficult in my thinking or restrictive in my thinking. Our goal and our focus has to be that when we look at a challenge or an issue or maybe a hiccup, right? A little hiccup. We actually want to repel conflict and chaos in the mind, and we want to go ahead and attract the calmness, attract the clarity. All right. And so let's talk about that. So let's let the geekness come out, right? The geekness is coming out. All right. So as I said to you before, we got two things we're dealing with. I want to simplify. We're going to talk about conflict, and we're going to talk about just calmness, right? Just calmness and clarity. When we're addressed with conflict, right? We have this conflict that we're faced with. Chaos is created in the mind. Your thinking is stuck. You're very stagnant in your thinking. It's kind of like a human hamster on a wheel, right? That's what I say. Let's get off the human hamster, right? So it's a wheel here. So you're like a human hamster on a wheel, going and going and going, but you're not getting anywhere. So when you faced with conflict, if you don't deal with it correctly, chaos is in the mind. And when chaos is in the mind, you can't think. It's like stinking thinking, right? You're plugged up. You're all backed up. However, when you are allowing yourself to be aware of what's going on and to welcome calmness, you now have a cohesive way of thinking. You have clarity, and now your thoughts can flow. Your thoughts can now flow, right? And you're going to feel this, to feel the difference in it when you start to work on your affirmations and start understanding how the brain works and how the mind works, right? You're through the calmness and the conflict and the thinking of the mind, you're going to have feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Now you can have positive or negative, productive or destructive. You can pick, but it's really a choice. There's something that I strongly believe in, right? We all have choices. We all have choices. Even in the midst of chaos, craziness, right? Mayhem, right? We all have choices. And so when we learn how to train our brain to win and we learn that the mind is the battlefield, we can begin to experience those more positive emotions and positive feelings, right? So here we go. Let's get real deep on me, all right? Don't just work with me here, okay? So check this out. Feelings live on the subconscious level of the mind. And the subconscious level of the mind is what's triggering. This is what triggers the brain and the body to move. It triggers feelings. It triggers emotions, right? It triggers action in the body. It also, if it's in a wrong emotion or a wrong feeling, it can stop you. It can paralyze you. You can't move. You can't think. So feelings are coming from a subconscious level of the mind. And this is in the subconscious level of the mind. The emotions and the feelings are being triggered. And when those things are triggered, you either move, you act, or you don't act. The body physically moves or it doesn't move. So let me remind you, or just expand your knowledge, right? We as human beings, we have three conscious levels of the mind. We got the pre-conscious level, the conscious level, and the subconscious level, right? Now, the subconscious level, this that little voice. That's a little voice that's always back there singing in your ear, and you want to control your little voice that's trying to tell you you're not any good. You don't have to be act with integrity. You're gonna lose. That's that little voice that you got. Hush. Who's in control? I am in control, right? And so you have to be able to control that mind, because it is that little voice. It is that subconscious mind that triggers action or inaction. That's the thing that gets your body to move or not move. It gives you the feelings and the emotions. You either are going to do something good or you're going to do something not good. Right? And so your pre-conscious level, this is where it's like a reservoir of memories. So your pre-conscious level is that reservoir of memories. Is basically, they're quickly and easily retrieved so that it comes to your present conscious mind, right? So for example, let's say your preconscious level has a reservoir of memory. When the stove is on and there are flames, if I touch it, it's hot. I'm going to get burnt. So when you are in the present, the conscious present moment, you see the stove is on, your preconscious pulls up to your conscious level and says, hey, that stove is going to be hot. Now, check this out. The subconscious level is where the memory bank of your feelings, what happened when this thing occurred. Come on with me now. What happened? What experience? What took place when this occurred? So here's what happened. Say for example, you have a child or whoever, like in your life, stove is on, you touch it, you're hot, ouch, got burned. Really good burn. Experience A. Oh my God, I can't believe you touch it. You're so stupid. Fire is going to kill you. You should never, ever, ever touch fire. Blah, 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 blah. Your subconscious level is traumatized. So every time you get around fire and heat, you're like, you pause. You're like, oh my God, don't touch, don't touch, don't touch, right? But if you get an experience where it's like, whoa, ouch, I know that hot, right? Be careful. All right, let's clean that up. Okay, the next time this happens and you see that, be very careful. Don't touch it because you can get hurt. Are you good? And you say, good. The experience is different. So now you proceed with caution and intelligence as opposed to fear. So we don't need to keep dealing and responding with things in a level of fear. Okay. So your preconscious level, your conscious level, your subconscious level. Let's take this around to business. Say at the preconscious level. Okay, here we go. Remember, your preconscious level is a reservoir, right? It's a reservoir of a memory. It sits back there. Like, this is where I can bring this memory occurrence, bring it to current, right? So here we are. Say you go and pitch a business offering. The person declined. They said no. You're like, oh my God, I remember that feeling, right? Okay. What you do at and after that moment is critical because the experience tied to that particular activity lives in the subconscious. And so therefore that will trigger your emotion and that will trigger the feelings and the activity or the action of the body. If you sit here and you do a pitch and after the pitch, you're like, oh, you idiot, dummy. Oh my God, I can't believe you lost it. You suck. You suck. Why are you a CEO? Why, Lord? You know, if you do that to yourself, your subconscious level remembers the pain, remembers the embarrassment. Don't do it again. Don't pitch again. You're not smart enough. Don't step up and do that. Let me tell you why. See, emotional pain is temporary. It can be reprogrammable, but physical pain is typically unforgettable. All right, let me explain some things to you. The emotional pain that's tied to you pitching and you not winning, that you can reprogram that feeling immediately. You know something? They weren't a good fit. How could I have done that better? Okay, let me work on this part of the pitch. I did this really well. I'm going to work on this part of the pitch. So when I do it again, it's going to be better. But next time I'm going to also tie down and get real focused on who I'm pitching to. So I'm not pitching to the wrong person. So I don't waste my time. Do you see how that goes? Your subconscious level will react based on the feeling that's tied to the action. So you want to be very careful with how you do that. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Emotions drive behaviors. Beliefs drive decisions. Okay? Emotions drive behaviors. Beliefs drive decisions. That's what I want you to remember. Okay? That's what's happening. Emotions will drive your behaviors. Emotions will drive how you act. Beliefs will drive how you decide. Don't ever forget that. Control how you respond to all the negative what ifs. You want to, I like to say, aim your emotions. You need to aim your emotions. Okay. What do I mean by that? Be aware, have full awareness, have intention with your thoughts, and you want to have a good motive with your movement. Aim your emotions. Be careful that you don't allow your emotions to drive a negative behavior, because that negative behavior will have negative outcomes. And some of those outcomes are pretty long term, if I might say. All right. So don't forget that. All right. So let me talk to you real quick about doing your affirmations and how to do your affirmations. Your chief visionary absolutely loves affirmations. I do daily affirmations. I have my wealth triggers. My clients know about wealth triggers. We have wealth triggers up, especially in our office. I have my wealth triggers and my affirmations posted in my office, and I do my affirmations in the morning and at night and stuff like that, right? So when you are talking about affirmations, okay, one thing we have to be very careful of is language patterns. It's imperative that you are very keen and clear about the language patterns that you're using when you do your affirmations. Again, affirmations can be positive or negative. Of course, we're going for the positive, right? Okay, your brain is the busiest organ in the body. It's doing so much. So when you are getting your brain to attach to the positivity, remember that your brain, primarily the left hemisphere, that hemisphere, most likely the temporal lobe, is responsible for language. It's responsible for comprehension and understanding of language. The limbic system of the brain is responsible for emotions, feelings. Okay. So now what you're trying to do is you're getting your brain and all the conscious levels of the mind to be in alignment. Alignment with what? The positive goal, the positive thinking, reinforcing the good energy. Got it? And so I love this stuff. Can y'all see? I absolutely love this stuff because if we can fix our brain, if we can retrain our mind and reprogram our thoughts, do you know how far you can go? You are unstoppable. You are unstoppable when you have total control of your mind, because at the end of the day, remember, business is good or bad in here. It's not good or bad out there. Out there, it's not good or bad. It's good or bad right here, right between your ears. Okay. All right. So the reason why you want to do positive, good affirmation, here's how you want to do this. You start all affirmations with I. I awakes the conscious level and says, uh-oh, come on, guys. The preconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious, they're all rolling. The limbic system kicks in. They're like, all right, where we're going? I, self, you, where we're doing? What are we doing? So when you start your affirmations with I, not we, us, my, them, our, forget all that. I. And then you tie it to either I am, I have, I must, I release, right? So you don't start with, you don't do, I will have, I can have, or something like that. I am very in tune to language patterns. And sometimes when my clients and we're doing future casting and we're talking about the strategic plan, when I hear them and I catch them and they'll say, well, okay, when I have, or, I'm like, oh, no, that's not going to work. I have. Okay, I think I can. I can. I am. I have. Right. So you tie it together and then you string it all together. Let me give you an example. Say, for example, you on the weight loss, because everybody's on this weight loss journey. Your chief visionary included. Okay, we're all on this weight loss journey. So say, for example, we're talking about weight loss. Let me tell you what. There's a reason why we go up and down, up and down. And I had to catch myself. On this. When we talk about weight loss, a lot of people say, hey, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 4 months. When you lose something, doesn't the brain tell you should go find it? That's why you gain back weight. That's why I gain back weight. I've been saying, I'm going to go lose 10 pounds. I'm going to go lose 10 pounds. So no, the thought, what you shifted to now is I have released. Catch what I said. I have released 10 pounds of unwanted weight. I have released 10 pounds of unwanted weight, as opposed to I am going to lose 10 pounds in 4 months. The brain thinks that you should go find it again. That's how we end up with a honey bun in our hands. Ugh, right? Stop messing around. Stop messing around. Y'all stop playing around. Okay. All right. Here's another good one. So for like business, if you say, listen, you're talking about really getting close, focused and laser focused on business and things like that. Don't say we will increase our profits by 20%. No, what you want to do is you want to now say, I am looking at our financials and seeing a 20% increase in our profits. Your conscious levels are now in alignment. It now will evoke the right feeling, the right emotions. It's going to trigger the right things, right? So remember, emotions drive behaviors, beliefs drive decisions. Yay! All right, so listen, I want you to take this information, do your positive daily affirmations, have fun with it. Don't hold back on it as well, right? I want you to have a good time with all your affirmations. And remember that it's important that you spend this energy focusing on yourself. The mind is the battlefield. You must train your brain to win. It does take 21 days to create or break a habit, but it takes 6 months for it to become a pattern. It becomes 6 months to become a pattern, and it becomes 12 months to become a part of who you are. So you want to be consistent. You definitely want to be committed. And I want you to take this information and run with it. Don't forget that the mind is the battlefield. Train your brain to win. Get your conscious levels to be in alignment with your goals. Right here, business is good or bad in here. It's not good or bad out there. All right, it's your Chief Visionary, Natasha Davis. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to tell somebody to come join the party. And check this out. If you need a strategist, oh, that was a tongue-tire word. I say it all day, but check it out. If you need a strategist, you need a speaker or trainer, contact your Chief Visionary. You can see that you can go right there, schedule a power chat. Website is right there scrolling on the screen. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of this good information, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Impact Branding Videos. All right, guys, much love, one heart. I'll see you next week, 9 a.m. Bring a friend. And if you are on the replay team, just hit that replay, hashtag replay team in the chat room so I can show you some love as well. All right, blessings upon blessings, guys. Be well.